A very good evening, everyone, once again. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time on this wonderful day whereby our FIFA fans are enjoying, whether in person or on TVs, enjoying to see the opening ceremony. For those people who are able to make it, to take the time out of their busy schedules to come and learn with us, this is a special day, our financial literacy Thursday, that shows that actually our people are very motivated never to miss. So we give it to all our FIFA fans. Keep watching. We hope to see that your teams are going to win. We pray for you for that one. So tonight, as you saw on the flyers, the topic tonight, it was requested actually by one of our attendees last week, who was wondering whether actually anyone can be able to access their life insurance benefits while they are still living. That is why we are always here. We listen to our people, we listen to our communities. We only learn what you want, because our crusade here is to learn with our communities, to learn with our families. That is the goal. So if you have anything, anytime, let us know. So our topic tonight is the power of the life insurance with living benefits. When, how to access your living benefits. So that is what we're going to tackle tonight. My name is Immaculate Businje. It is always a pleasure and honor to learn with you, because every time I come here, I learn as well. So stay with me, and I always encourage everyone to share, because we learn better and we learn together when we share the information. So I'll be actually expecting all of you to share so that we can be able to learn together. So as we can start, so many people at times, when they hear about life insurance, they think of the benefits that will be given to my families if I pass. That is for those people who took the step to take the life insurance. They take it thinking that I'm taking this to protect my people when I happen to go. But tonight, we're going to learn together to see that actually, if you take the right insurance, you do not have to die to use it. So right here, we're going to learn how to cover all your life's what ifs with just one payment. Imagine in your retirement, if you live a long time, that one payment is going to help cover you in your old age when you retire. It will give you the living benefits if you get sick, which is what, this is actually the part we are going to focus more on tonight. The living benefits. Remember, the living benefits is for the living, not for the dead. So when you get sick, that beautiful life insurance you took with the living benefits. All right. So also the life insurance, if you die too soon, remember, it doesn't matter where you get your life insurance, but make sure that the life insurance you have, it is going to help you cover all your life what ifs. What if you get sick today? What if you live a long life? What if you die too soon? Is that policy that you do on today going to help you? Help your family? Because if you die today, you're going to access the tax-free death benefit. If you get sick today, you're going to actually access your living benefits. We're going to go deeper into that. Then here, you're able to protect your family and your financial future. The most important part we always want is that peace of mind. When your family is protected, when you as a person you're protected, you always have a peace of mind. Of course, whatever comes your way, getting sick, nobody knows when it will come. Even passing, nobody plans for that. But when you're protected, you have that peace of mind that whatever will happen, because anything that can happen, none of us plans for it. At least you have that peace of mind. And then, so if you get sick, that is what we're talking about the other end. So here the statistics will tell us every year, millions of Americans are diagnosed with a heart attack, stroke, or cancer. And the average for that critical illness is usually 43 years of age. You can imagine 43, you're so young, you don't even think about getting that. But that is what they're telling us, that millions are always attacked by that critical illness. And another percentage here shows us that 70% of these people will survive those critical illnesses, but more than half of those will go bankrupt at the age or at average age of 44. Imagine being hit with cancer and you have no life insurance with the living benefits. Because if you have one, for example, if you have a life insurance from job, from your work, for example, the group life insurance can only cover you at death if you happen to die while you're still working at that job you have. Or if you have the traditional life insurance, the traditional one, the old ones, whereby you have a coverage that is going to be given to your beneficiaries, that is your parents, your children, your spouse. You will not be able to access the money until you die, meaning that if you happen to survive, they're showing us a big percentage, 70% of us, of Americans who survive, they'll end up going bankrupt because the treatment for cancer, you can imagine how bad it can be, or even stroke, any critical, you will actually drain your bank account and leave your family and yourself actually stranded. So none of us wants that. So here they're asking a quick question, a good question. If you get sick and can't go to work, how will you pay your bills? We all live in this great nation, even anywhere in the world. If you can't go to work, we know what happens. Everything we bring in, it's like we have like two pipes. One brings in, another one takes out, meaning that you have to give your time to get the money. If you're not getting in that check, you're not going to put the roof over your family. You're not going to put food on the table. That is why that life insurance with the living benefits, whereby we don't wait for you to die, but it can come to your rescue for financial protection. This will help protect your income when you need it the most. That time when you can't go to work, this life insurance with living benefits will be able to come to your rescue you and your family and your finances. Again, it will give you the peace of mind. You're going to be focusing on recovery, not financial stress. Nothing hurts so much for someone to be critically ill instead of thinking of how you're going to recover, but you're thinking about what will cover your bills tomorrow. So none of us wants that. That is why we are all here. We skipped the FIFA games, wherever it is, to come actually and learn. It will also protect your family. Keep your family's future financial secure. We don't need anybody to go bankrupt. Just because one mistake, you get sick. It's not a mistake to get sick, but it is a mistake now to protect yourself, because you never know when that critical illness is going to attack you or your loved ones. So we are here to learn so that we can actually fix that. So again, if you live a long life, so most of our country's savings are locked in individual retirement accounts and 401ks, but a large percentage of this money can be lost to stocks, market risks, or even taxes and fees. We're not saying that these retirement savings are bad, but try to diversify your options. Don't put all your eggs in the same basket. None of these accounts, none of these savings actually can come to your rescue if you happen to have a critical illness. If you have cancer, if you have anything, to access this money, you have to be at least 59 and a half. If you try to access it, you can, yes, but you'll be hit hard by those Uncle Sam's fees. You don't want to do that, because that money is meant for retirement. It's not to come to your rescue when you need it before you get to that level. So what do we do? If it is your choice a tax-advantaged or a fully taxable retirement account. So with the digital life insurance, we do have, for example, the index universal life insurance. It gives you both. It can give you the retirement planning. It will give you the living benefits. It will give you the death benefit, tax-free actually. That's what they're saying here. It is your choice, a tax-advantaged or a fully taxable retirement account. We always give examples. Would you rather pay a tax on the seed or pay a tax on a proceed? You can barely really sow seeds of like 1 kilo or 2 kilos. On the harvest is going to be big. So imagine if you, instead of paying your tax on the seed, you're paying the tax on the proceed. You can imagine the tax bracket you're going to be in. So we have to be smart on our taxes, smart on protecting ourselves, and picking options that can give us many options. Like they were telling us previously, actually, secure your life, learn how to actually secure your life in all corners of life. If you get sick today, you are secure. If you die tomorrow, you are secure. If you're blessed with a long life, also you are going to be secure there. So what if you die too soon? Because we never check. We never know when that can come. If you're gone and your paycheck is gone, how will your family survive financially? You're not sick, but you're gone. Remember, we have the life insurance with the living benefits that protects you when you get sick, when you die, and when you live a long life. So we're going to tackle mainly on the living benefits, but we want to cover all your life what ifs. What if you die too soon? Would you want your mortgage to be paid or a debt to be paid off? Would your family still need a reliable monthly income if you die too soon? How long would they need this income? Think about it. You're making a good income right now. You're bringing in a fat check right now. But we don't think, what if I wake up tomorrow and I'm gone? I have a family. You have a mortgage to pay. You have bills to pay. You have your children to go to school. Do you ever imagine if you wake up and you can't do that anymore, what will happen then? Life insurance benefits are income tax free. You make sure that that peace of mind for yourself, for your family is always there. That's what makes actually a person go to sleep comfortably, knowing that although even if I go, I know my children, my family, they're not gonna suffer. I'm not gonna take everything I was giving to them. That is what we all need to be doing. Now we come back to our beautiful living benefits. So most of the time, the crusade we are actually on this team as financial professionals we are on is to make sure that every family, every community is aware of the life insurance with living benefits. Why is it important? Why do we have really to think about it? Because it is very surprising. Most of our communities, most of our members, most of our families, they do have life insurance, but they don't even know exactly what is in that life insurance package they do have. So I encourage all of you, if you happen to have one, please go look at it. Call your financial professional. You can even reach out to us. We do give actually free financial, we can look it up, we can check it up for you and see if you have everything that you need. It's one thing to think about getting one. It's another thing to know exactly what you have, because there are so many life insurance companies out there that are still selling traditional life insurance. I'm not saying that is bad. If that is what you want and you feel like if you happen to get sick, you're covered, then that is good. But I feel like if you're buying a life insurance, that is why it is a life insurance. It is supposed to be protecting your life today, tomorrow, and the future. Because your life is not just when you're gone, your life is when you're living. So what are these living benefits? We can go and See what it is. So the living benefits are futures available in certain life insurance policies that allow eligible policy holders to access a portion of their death benefit while still living if they experience a qualifying health condition. You want to make sure and note this. They say these living benefits are available in certain life insurance policies, not all of them. That is why we have to make sure to check what we have. If you're courageous enough to have taken one for your family, please go ahead and review it. Make sure that you have the living benefits that will cover you in all corners of your life. So instead of waiting for a death benefit payout, if we have a life insurance, the living benefits can provide financial support when it is needed most, helping individuals and families manage unexpected medical and financial challenge. That is what we are looking at in the previous slides. When someone is hit with a cancer, a terminal cancer, you're hit with a heart attack or any of those critical illnesses, if you do not have a life insurance with living benefits, you're going to be financially hit because they are going to wait for you to go and they'll give the money to the beneficiaries, but you have already entered into debt or even not managed to get the medical, medical help you would have gotten if you knew that those living benefits are always there. That is our crusade here. We are always here every Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Time, to make sure that we are all educated together. You will hurt someone if you thought you have a life insurance, but what you have is partially covering you. Would you rather have something that covers you on all corners if anything was to ever happen to you? So what do these living benefits do to you? Access them when you need them the most. When you have that critical, that terminal, that chronic, you'll be able to access it. Financial flexibility and that peace of mind again. It's not like your 401k, whereby they have to wait for you to reach the retirement age. You can access your living benefits as soon as you have the qualifying health condition. That is the question of when can you access your living benefits. When you experience a qualifying health condition, you actually you qualify to be able to get your living benefits. Support for unexpected health challenges. That's again, if you have an unexpected health challenge, you access your money. Protection for you and your loved ones. That is all why we work so hard to make sure that our loved ones are always secure and safe. So this is altogether the living benefits riders that comes with certain life insurance policies. But I want to assure you that all the life insurance products we have, whether you buy a term life insurance, whether you buy a permanent life insurance, they all come with the living benefit rider. And mind you, these living benefits riders, they come to you actually with your policy free of charge. You don't pay for that. You pay for the life insurance, but if you qualify for that, you don't have to pay for that. So what are these riders? So one of them is the critical illness. They call it accelerated death benefit for critical illness. If you are critically ill, and it is actually, by the way, your doctor, your primary doctor, your PCP, not the insurance company's doctor, if they approve that my patient is critically ill, you access up to 100% of the death benefit if you actually suffer a critical condition. We have always got people asking me, actually, how can I know what qualifies for a critical illness? These are a few of the illnesses: the heart attack, the stroke, the major organ transplant, paralysis. You have all those like, the central nervous system tumors, the major burns. People get burns. You know, you lose your hand, you lose your leg, you lose anything. Invasive cancer, end-stage renal failure, all these, not just these are just a few. You know, anything that is critical, that your doctor certifies as a critical condition, you access your life insurance. That is the life insurance. For example, let's say if you took a life insurance for $1 million, or 2 million, or 3 million, whichever you took, or 500, whichever it is. And unfortunately, you get actually a condition that falls under critical illness, you access 100% of that million, and you be able to take care of your family yourself instead of going into stress. At least you focus on your well-being and you focus on to love your family. If actually you're not going to make it, have time with your family, with yourself. Instead of stressing, at least have closure with your family. So another rider that is very important is the terminal illness. So terminal illnesses are those illnesses whereby in these countries you go to the doctor and they will tell you, by the way, we are sorry to tell you, but you have less than 24 months to live. That is a terminal, something that is actually, not expected to, you're not expected to recover from. That is a terminal illness. Even this one, the insured, if you do have a life insurance with living benefits, again, and you have a terminal illness, you access up to 100% of your death benefits. If your doctor tells you you have less than 24 months to live, there is no taking a piece or what, you take 100% of that. The other one that is mostly, remember when we were talking about if you live longer, that is actually a beautiful thing. We all would wish to live longer into our 80s, our 90s, 100 of age. But the more we get older, the more these chronic illnesses will start hitting. We want to make sure that the life insurance you have is going to cover you until the end. You don't want to cover yourself for 20 years, and then by the time you're hitting into those chronic illnesses, it is gone. So if you can, cover yourself until the end. So this one, because chronic illnesses, they tend to take longer. You might have a chronic illness for 5, 10, even 15, 20 years. That is why you accelerate it. Accelerating your death benefit means taking it partial by partial. So this one, they'll give you up to 25% of the death benefit when certified with a chronic illness. So how do they actually determine that? If you cannot perform two of the main, like for example, you cannot bathe yourself, you cannot walk by yourself, you cannot help yourself to eat, you cannot be able to dress yourself, only two qualifies you under the chronic illness rider. And you're able, if you have $1 million, they're giving you up to $250,000. Every 12 months they assess until you complete your 100% of the rider. So why do we really stress so much about the living benefits? We stress so much about the living benefits because the life insurance is for the living, it's not for the dead. If that was the case, it would have been called the death insurance. It's not the final expense. We do have products for final expense as well. The ones people take saying that maybe I'm about to go. If I'm to go next year or 2 years, this is what will help me in my final days. But this is a life insurance, which is for the living. So again, when we talk about the critical illness, there are categories again. We have to remember, if someone is hit with a cancer, the stages are not the same. That is why they tell you, you access up to 100% depending on the category that you have. We make sure that our people, those ones with the life insurance or those ones who are planning to have it, it's always good for you to know exactly when do I get a full payout? How much do I get if I have a stage 1 cancer? So stage 1, that is considered minor. Of course, you still get your benefits. But instead of getting 100%, possibly if you have a minor, you might get up to 30%. If you have stage 2 cancer, that is moderate, more serious conditions requiring significant treatment, you get a bigger percentage. If we have a severe, like a stage 3, that is a serious condition with major health impact, you're possibly getting a 70%. So if you have stage 4, that is critical. Remember, on the critical part, you get 100%. That is a life-threatening condition requiring intensive care. So how do you measure? How do you know if you already have the life insurance with the living benefits? How do you know when you to get 100%? Here they're giving us the higher severity, the higher potential living benefit payout. So if you on the stage 4, you're possibly getting 100% of living benefits. Whichever stage you're on, you're going to get the percentage. But the good thing is, you're getting actual living benefits when you're still there. So most of the time when we think about long-term care, this one comes when we're getting there, where we all wish to be. We all want to be older, grow older. You see our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren. But getting there comes with a cost, because they are showing us here 6 in 10 adults in the US have a chronic illness. You can imagine that. 6 out of 10. Those adults, those older people, they have a chronic illness. What do you do if you have not planned well? What do you do? That is a question for all of us to ponder on and think about it. This is not what if, it is going to happen, because that is where we are all heading. So you might be 40, 30, 50, but that age is going to come anytime, you know? It's a matter of when, not a matter of whether it's going to happen. So when you look at, actually, you can do research. Longtermcare.gov reports that 70% of us who reach at age 65 will require some long-term care. When they give us, like, at least like women, we live like 3.7 years, you know, longer. And men, 2.2 years. You might need all that. Long-term care for 3.7 for women, 2.2 years for men, and 20% will need it for longer than 5 years. Imagine that. Almost 4 years in a long-term care. You can imagine how much that will cost you if you did not plan ahead of time. And that is why we always tell our people, get your coverage as soon as you can. Because this life insurance, they are all expensive with age. They are cheaper or expensive with age. The area you get in, you get a chance of locking in everything. You lock in your premiums. If you start at an early age and you're paying less, it will never change. It's locked in. You lock in your premiums, you lock in your health, you lock in everything. Nothing will ever change as long as you're already locked in. And this one, they're telling us about 47% of US adults have hypertension, also known as high blood pressure. All those are like, it could be a chronic and it could be actually a terminal if it becomes too much. These numbers, sometimes they tend to scare people, but this is a reality. It's not even far away. They're telling us that nearly 2 million Americans, that is an estimate, received a new cancer diagnosis by the year 2023. 2 million, you can imagine that. That is 4 in 1. 4 in 1, 4 in 10 adults in the US have 2 or more chronic illnesses. When you put it together, more than 18 million cancer survivors were living in the US as of January 1, 2022. Imagine, it's a big number. But when we think, let's not even focus on the big number. But what do you do? Let's think about ourselves. What do you do if you're the one hit by such a critical illness? 1, without a life insurance. 2, if you have one and you did not check well, it does not come with living benefits. We work so hard for our families because we love them so dearly. But loving them without planning for them, I don't think that is a real love for sure. We have to think about that. So let's think about, I'm gonna give you a chance for you to ask questions, to discuss with me, to see what we can do as a community, as a family. Here are some more common misconceptions about life insurance in our communities. Across, people will tell you, you'll be surprised actually, how even people you think they're the most understanding ones will tell you, I'm young and healthy. I don't need life insurance. In the previous slides, we saw that most people by age 43, they have most of those diagnoses. So a critical illness, a terminal illness does not choose an age. That is a misconception. That is a myth, That is a myth people have, that I'm young, I'm healthy. You can be hit by a car. A car accident does not choose among the older or the young. So that is actually a big myth that our communities, our families, all have, most of them have, and it is actually keeping them behind. And if any of those unthinkable or unplanned events happen, they end up suffering. What is the reality? We are seeing the myth and the reality here. The best time to qualify for coverage is often when you're healthy. See, you're saying, oh, I'm young and healthy. This is the best time you can qualify, because if you're older, you might not even qualify. So waiting can lead to higher cost or reduced eligibility. We say this often. So life insurance, although we educate people, we are on crusade for everyone to learn. It is not for everyone. It's not a guarantee that everyone who wants it will get it, because you have to qualify. Or these life insurance companies, most of them, they come with living benefits. They're not going to give it to you if you're already critically ill, terminally ill. Already you're disqualified if you get to that level. So actually what could have been a myth, that is your blessing. You being young and healthy, actually these life insurance products are for you, because cost-wise, you have an advantage, and then eligibility, it is a plus for you. So don't wait until it is too late for you. Myth number 2, life insurance only helps after death. That is exactly what we are talking about, the beauty and the power of the living benefits. So policies here, the reality tells us here, policies with living benefits may provide access to funds while you're still alive if you experience a qualifying illness. That is what we're going through in the previous slides. Life insurance, it is for the living. It has never been for the dead. And if you choose correctly, the policy you're going to get, it is going to cover you all around. When you get sick, you access your living benefits. When you die too soon, you access your tax-free death benefit. And when you live a long life, you access your retirement benefits. So please don't wait for tomorrow. Protect what matters for you today. Yourself, your family, your assets, by the way, because we all work so hard to build the legacies, the assets for ourselves and for our generations to come. But if anything, if any of these critical, terminal, can hit any of our people without proper protection, everything we have fought so hard for to protect will crumble. So we don't want to wait for that. The call to action here, don't wait for tomorrow. Remember this, the realities of this. The younger you are, the better you stand. The healthier you are, the better it is for you to be eligible. And then, life insurance is for the living and comes with living benefits, not for the dead. So I'm going to stop here and call upon you as well to share. We love it when we learn together and be able to share here. That is where actually I'll ask everyone, if you want to open your mic or you want to put your question, actually anything you want to discuss in the chat, we want to hear from you. This is a topic that hits home to all of us. or have families, or want to make sure that if anything was to ever happen to me, I don't want my family to suffer because I failed to plan. The floor is yours, audience. Open your mic, put something in the chat. Let us hear from you, please.
Great work, Immaculate. Great presentation. It was amazing, as always, and very informative.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Mungari.
Hello, I have a question.
Yes.
It's not to share, it's more of a question. I did hear that you mentioned how somebody is eligible for it. And I was just thinking if somebody has just started working and still wants to be able to do this, what are some steps that they can take in order to get it done, to start their life insurance and especially do their living benefits?
Oh, great question for sure. Thank you so much, Shivan. That is an amazing question. We just actually saw in the previous slide, the best time is now. Because again, those critical, terminal, chronic illnesses that we talk about, they never tell you when they will come. And if you just got a job, really, you don't have to wait to work a year or 2 or 3. Protect yourself now and protect what you're working so hard for now. The best time is now because that is actually the time that you have for now. So, and I always tell my people, yes, I know you're a young person, you just got into job, you're still working and studying at the same time. You don't have to wait to get 1 million or 2 million. Start small, what you can afford. And then most of these policies, they are actually very flexible. You can increase as your capability increases. So start now, start small. And the good thing is for the young people, really, the cost, it is very good for you. So you don't even have to worry about paying too much because it is cost effective for you when you start young and lock in those low premiums. Great question, Sharon. Shivan. Thank you. Go ahead, Musabase. Thank you.
Muriho mwese.
Muraho.
Mwebwe ntabwo muzi imana mufite kugira ngo Immaculée abe ari hano abigisha ibingibi nanjye abingisha. Njye ntabwo nagize imana kubona umuntu ubinsobanurira njye nkiri muto nkamwe. Njye ndakuze ariko njye ibyo avuga byambayeho kuko ndakuze narakoraga naje mba Boston, Massachusetts. Naje ndi muto nje kwiga mpamaze imyaka myinshi abana barakuze baraho ndenda kumara imyaka 50 ino. Sinari nzi n'ibyo ngibyo ku kazi ntabwo babitwigisha. Baravuga ngo tugire 401k yego ariko ntabwo. Ejo bundi ahangaha muri 22 ndi umu infirmière mva gukora ngeze imbere y'urugo. Umuntu arankubita antera icyuma mu mutima ariko ntabwo nyine biva ku rubavu. Hama ngiye kwa muganga basanga ibihaha n'ibizima ariko basanze mfite aggressive brain tumor. Ibyo byabaye mu itariki ya 8 z'ukwa 12 2022. Kuri 13 kuri 11 barambaga kuko it was critical. Nari muzima ntacyo nari ndwaye nta mutwe na ariko mbabwire nyine hano iyo ukorera leta baguha umwaka umwe for medical leave kandi iyo medical leave nayo ni on and off payroll. Nkoresha all my sick days amafaranga nshiraho bageze aho ngo bankuraho kuko umwaka wari ushize. Narwaye imyaka 4 na n'ubu nyine baracyampa imiti ya amonokimo kandi namaze umwaka n'amafaranga mfite erizmo narakoze ino ndagenda mfata early social security nayo ntiyari ihagije. Bampaye 1,000 kandi ndiha ngomba kuriha ma life insurance byose none I was forced to retire igihe kitageze. Imana nageze no kubu ngubu baduha social security for state workers byongeraho, ariko ntabwo mfite ibyo ngibyo ngo living well cyangwa ibindi, kuko ndashaje kandi nararwaye, ntabwo I cannot qualify. Nari ndiho mutagaza nsimbuka niruka naribuye, none dore ndiri kukuri ndarwaye, ubu maze imyaka 4 ntakora, for 22 ntabwo nongeye gukora, ndi mu rugo, I'm on a chemo, I go get CAT scan, MRI, ndi muri chemo. Ibyo bya living well n'ibiki ntabyo mfite. Urumva sasa mwebwe mugira Imana, mufite amahirwe ateye ubwoba. Ni mukuriki ibyababwire rero, mutangire hakeka ko ntabwo muzi iby'iminsi izazana. Nange nari muto nkama, so mukuriki ibyababwire, mufite Imana cyane. Imana ibarinde kandi ibahe umugisha.
Murakoze cyane mama Musabwa se. Kandi mpore komera, Imana iri kumwe nawe. Yeah, that's tough. For those who don't possibly understand the Kinyarwanda, our sister Musabwasi here was telling us her journey battling a critical illness of cancer. This is what we talk about. Most of the time when we talk about this, some people feel like we're just talking because we're trying to sell something. This is real. We're looking at the statistics in the previous slides. Those 18 million Americans, those are human beings. That is like our sister here. You don't want to start saying, I wish I knew. Because the critical illness, terminal illness, they don't look at age. They don't look at your beauty. They don't look how you look like. So protect yourself. We pray for you, sister. God that has protected you this far will keep you moving. But that is a living testimony. And thank you for sharing with us. Some people don't want to share, but sharing helps someone next door not to go through the same thing. We keep you in our prayers. We believe God will help you through. Thank you so much again. Harakoze sister wacu hano, ufite ikindi kibazo, niba warashyize ikibazo hano. Okay, so Miss Happiness here is asking a question in the chat. Thank you for wonderful presentation. You mentioned locking premiums. What happens with face amount? Yes, ma'am. So when you talk about locking in, so when you take a life insurance has different little parts. The premium is what you pay monthly for your benefits, for your life insurance. The first amount she's talking about is the life insurance amount, life insurance benefit. For example, someone who takes on $1 million protection, that is $1 million of a life insurance protection. So depending on your age, depending on your health, everybody pays differently, depending on when you took your policy. If someone took a policy at 20 years of age, another one takes on at 30 years of age, 40, 50, the premiums are going to be different. But whenever you start, if you start at 20, 30, 35, what you're paying today, let's say, for example, for someone taking a policy at 30 years of age, paying maybe $400 for $1 million protection, that is going to be exactly what you're going to pay. Nothing is going to change, and your $1 million protection is not going to change. But actually, your million is going to change depending on the product you take. Because if you take a permanent life insurance with actual cash accumulation in it, it is going to grow. So you put in $400 possibly for 30 years, but you're going to be covered for the rest of your life. They tell us up to 120. That is a permanent, because at least as far as we know, we haven't seen many people who go to 120. So if you have that life insurance, a permanent life, for example, like index universal life insurance, you have the first amount you started off with, the 1 million. As the years goes, you accumulate value, the cash accumulation that comes with the beauty of compounding interest that is going to grow actually more than the million. You may end up cashing out maybe 3 million or 4 million, depending on how long you've been in. So yes, Happiness, you lock in your premiums. The death benefit are locked in only if you take like a term. A term, if you take a term life insurance, The good thing with us, all the products, even a term, they come with living benefits, but your face amount or life insurance benefit is a level. It does not increase because, again, the term is just for protection. It does not grow your cash. So if you took $1 million for 35 years, it's going to be $1 million for the next 35 years. With a permanent, with a cash accumulation, is going to grow. Thank you so much for that great question, Happiness. Anyone else wants to add?
Thank you, Ms. Immaculate, for the breakdown of the living benefits. That was quite a bit of detailed information that you shared with us. I also got some of the information from the lady who shared her experience, despite it being in Chinyaranda. But all these are the what we live for today. These are the important attributes as to why the living benefits have really been part and parcel of what we do. Typically, living benefits haven't been here that long. They started out in the 1980s, but by then they were just providing about 6 to 12 months of coverage. And these terminal illness benefits have expanded up to the 24 months time frame, and that's why they're so popular. In that it gives us yet again an opportunity of, after we have put the policy in place, given our clients the opportunity to access living benefits if a trigger condition comes up. It also gives us that duty to come back in their lives and help them yet again. That's why it's always important for us to keep in touch with our clients. That next step will be working with, obviously, the doctors to see how their medical costs can be, because we have already, as financial consultants, already established a very, very close network of trust with our clients. We can speak to them about their medical costs. We can speak to them yet again about changing the beneficiaries, just in case the spouse has to stop working and other people have to come into play. The income replacement calculations also do come into play, the lifestyle maintenance, and also the allocation. All the information that we share through the annuities and allocation in the different funds, with a minimum of $10,000, that we can help our recipients of these living benefits to allocate into those tax advantaged policies, is a crucial part that we play. And yes, thank you, Ms. Immaculate, for the breakdown and the good information, the analogies about how the tax advantage can come up for the seed when you're planting the seed and when you come to the harvest.
Thank you
It
so
is
much.
all good information, and kudos on that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kaizi. We appreciate that. Anyone else? We learn better when we learn together, because this is a community crusade, people. We are always here. These are free trainings. Don't lose out. Most of these kind of trainings in this country, you have to pay actually to access them. So for us, this is a crusade we are on as financial professionals, to make sure that we learn with our communities, we learn with our families, we learn with our people. So we don't want anyone to miss out just because they never got a chance to learn. That is why we are here every Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Time. Keep your spot. Don't miss out. And if you have someone you want us to learn in the future, let us know, because we are here for you. This particular topic was picked by one of the attendees last week who wondered whether they have a chance to ever access the living benefits while they're still living. So this is an example. So pick your topic if you want us to tackle that. We are always here for you. We are here to learn with you, to educate wherever we can. Go ahead again, Sister Musabwase.
Jewe nta kintu ababwira, ntimutinde abafite akazi aho kujya kugura inkweto n'ibiki mugure life insurance kuko muri bato ntabwo muriha menshi. Uko utinda niko amafaranga yiyongera muriha buri kwezi. Urumva mufite imana, mufite amahirwe nkuko abivuze, abandi turarihiye tugiye muri izi nama. Buri cyumweru turaza ahangaha akatwigisha kabisa mugene mubike mutangire yarikika bizabagirira akamaro. Jewe byarashize ariko nibura ndaza nkumva hago ngewe ngo iyo mbimenya ntimugabe nkanjye jewe nyine niko ntabonye ugisha ko mwebwe mufite umuntu ubigisha kandi ubizi ubagira inama bibasobanurira neza.
Thank you.
Ntimubirangarane mubeho naho ubutaha.
Thank you. Our sister here is stressing again the urgency here, the urgency whereby people say, I'm still young, I'm still healthy. She's saying that she can never actually put the clock back. If she was able to do that, she would have done it way back, but it's too late for her. So she's encouraging everyone, if you're able, do what you can now, because you never know, you might want to do it tomorrow when it's too late. Anyone else want to say something here before we close? Because it is time now. Anyone wants to say something? We're about to close here. All right, so it's 4 minutes past the hour.
Making noise here. I wanted to say something. I'm just grateful that you really make people understand the point of having life insurance. My challenge that I still really think hard is to get a strategy to convince young people. They are the most stubborn. They are I don't know, because you tell them, they seem to understand, but they are busy. They have other schedules that they.
Recording in progress.
We just need to have some strategy of convincing young people to understand this.
Right. Thank you so much. And that is the purpose. That is why we are here every single Thursday. Tonight is the opening of FIFA, the World Cup, for people who love it. But we applaud you for being here. That is what we started off with. For young people, we understand that's what we're talking about. People who say, I'm young and healthy. They should listen to people with experience. Like our sister Musabwase here is telling us. She was hit. She was a nurse. She was working. She's been here in this country for a long time, but she never got a chance to learn. So if someone knows, please, this is a crusade. This is a crusade. We could have been anywhere tonight at this particular hour, but we are here because of that particular reason. So let us spread the word, all of us. Be an ambassador for the life insurance, mostly with living benefits. Because like our sister here, she survived the cancer. She's a survivor. But if she had a life insurance, just a regular one without living benefits, she would not have gotten anything. But if she had one with the living benefits, she should not have had to suffer. So this is what we talk about. These are real people we talk about. These are our families. These are our moms, our dads, our children. Please take it seriously and let us all be ambassadors of these products, because, you know, when you hear it to a neighbor, you think it's so far away from you until it knocks on your door. So thank you all again for coming. This was a beautiful discussion. We're always here every Thursday. If you need anything else to learn, let us know. We are open for discussion for any topic that you want. Financial Literacy Thursday is for that, for us to learn together. Living benefits are critical. It is a crusade that we are on to make sure that no family, no community is left behind without learning. Have a good evening. Look out for the recording, and thank you again for tuning in tonight. When you get the recording and the YouTube, please share and subscribe. The more we share to our friends and families, the more they get to learn. So let us learn together and uplift our communities and our people. Have a great night, everyone.